warm welcome. You're watching Viewpoint with me, Neha. The Parliament showdown over the Manipur crisis continues to be our top focus story as it is day 3 of the monsoon session and the status quo on the stormy note that it began on remains. The opposition protest in the Parliament complex demanding that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi make a statement in the House has taken a new turn altogether. After the suspension of Aam Aadmi Party MP Sanjay Singh from the Rajya Sabha for the rest of the monsoon session for quote-unquote repeatedly violating the directives of the chair while protesting on the Manipur issue, now opposition parties have upped the ante against the union government, claiming this to be an attempt at throttling their voices. The suspension, remember, came after the Leader of the House, Mr. Piyush Goyal, moved a motion in this regard and it was adopted by the House by a voice vote. Also, after this entire suspension drama played out of the Parliament, Union Home Minister Amit Shah also briefly addressed the Lok Sabha, saying that he was ready to discuss the Manipur situation, although the opposition is the one that is stalling the proceedings. To this, the opposition alliance under India has decided to hold an overnight protest at the Gandhi statue inside the Parliament complex.
सरकार मणिपुर के ऊपर बात करने के लिए तैयार नहीं है, मोदी जी सदन में आने के लिए तैयार नहीं है, हमारा विरोध जारी रहेगा।
We are united. Our only demand is that Prime Minister should come to Parliament and we are ready for a discussion on Manipur.
विपक्ष के नेता को आग्रह है कि चर्चा होने दे और इस महत्वपूर्ण मसले पर पूरे देश के सामने सच्चाई जाए, बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है।
देश के गृह मंत्री दोनों सदनों में चर्चा के लिए तैयार है। विपक्ष मणिपुर से संबंधित घटनाओं पर चर्चा करने की बजाय क्यों भाग रही है?
Let me open this up to my guests who join me this evening on Viewpoint. Neha, Joshi of the BJP, Dolly Sharma of the Congress Party, Mr. Javed Ansari, who's a senior journalist, and also joining me is Tushar Gupta, who's the editor of Swaraj magazine. Now, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, on this very special edition of Viewpoint. And of course, the discussion, unfortunately, remains the same. Neha, Joshi, would you first begin and throw some light on what really is happening inside the Parliament, why the stalling is continuing, despite the fact that the Manipur situation needs to be importantly be looked at by both the government and also the opposition?
Thank you, Kriva, for having me, and good evening to everyone. See, first of all, the Prime Minister has himself made a statement on Manipur. The opposition parties demanded that the Parliament suspends all business pending a debate on Manipur. The government has conceded. The government has said, let's have a debate. The minister in charge for internal security is the Home Minister. He has stood in Parliament today and in no unequivocal terms has said that let's have an open debate. Now the opposition wants that the PM makes a statement in both the houses. So this all or nothing attitude, Griha, this is not how a democracy functions. There are specific functions that specific people have to carry out. And the Home Minister in this case is authorized. In fact, he is the one who has spent 4 days in Manipur. He is the one who knows the situation there. He's in a position to brief the country and the parliamentarians on this. I don't understand why does the opposition not want a debate now. They wanted a debate and today they've created a ruckus for nothing. So it makes me wonder that do they want the Parliament to function? Are they what is it that they really want?
Okay. Dolly Sharma, would you like to respond to that, considering what the government is saying, that they are open for a debate? It's the opposition that's stalling the proceedings. It's a back and forth that's continuing. Whose word should we believe in? What does the Congress really have to say about these allegations?
Greha, this government has failed completely. completely in Manipur. We have seen the visuals, the bone-chilling visuals that came out of Manipur, and that was not only one incident. There were two incidents happening the same day, 40 kilometers away on Wednesday. The another incident was happening. Two girls were also killed in the same manner. And we have seen many other incidents happening in Manipur. More than 5,000 houses, are burnt. 60,000 people living out of their houses in camps. More than 150 people are no more. They're killed. And 300 people are in a bad situation, bad state. And they are saying so many things about Manipur. And as she gave you an example of Amit Shah's visit to Manipur, Amit Shah's visit to Manipur was nothing more than a hollow show. If his
no, but Dolly, they are also saying that they are ready to have a conversation. They are ready to have a debate. Why is the opposition still not going ahead with that?
Give me 10 seconds, Greha.
Yeah.
Let me complete. Give me 10 seconds. Yeah. So why the opposition wouldn't want to complete the discussion? We want discussion on Manipur. Manipur is a no normal situation. We want discussion on Manipur. We are saying let's discuss as per rule number 267, wherein you have to discuss everything on Manipur. What they're doing is they want the discussion as per 176, wherein they'll give us 2-3 minutes to discuss. 2-3 people will come and speak.
But Dolly, as per 176,
they will have
there
time
can be a good amount of time, like 2.5 hours can be dedicated to the discussion.
Why not immediately? Why not immediately? It can be any day. It can be any day.
Okay. Neha, I see that you wanted to respond to Dolly, but before that, let me actually bring in Mr. Javed Ansari. All right, Dolly, got your point. Got your point. Javed Ansari, I'd like to understand from you this entire sparring over certain rules, whether it is 267, 176, why not discussion happen under that? The opposition says, BJP says otherwise. What do you actually see, in this entire controversy that's emanating out of the parliament? Even there were allegations that were made that the timing of the video that's come out of Manipur is also questionable. How does one see that in totality when all of these arguments come together?
Look, I just can't get my head around it. I mean, they are blaming the timing, the video for having come out. They are not concerned about the bestiality that occurred in Manipur. Yes. They are not concerned about what poor men, women, old men, children have to face. They are not concerned about what is happening, how a bordering state, a sensitive state, is up in flames, is literally at war at itself. Should that break our conscience, or should we worry about the fact that the news came out? At least the world got to know. Otherwise, there is a blanket ban, nobody knows. Absolutely. And the reason why people are insisting on a debate under a particular rule is because that means that it underlines the urgency of the situation, the importance of the situation. It puts aside all other business and takes this up on a priority. If the Prime Minister can make a 30-second statement in the car park of Parliament, why can he not make a statement on the floor of the House? If the Prime Minister chooses that occasion to appeal to the people of Manipur, one may or may not agree with him, but he is by far the most popular leader in the country, and he is the Prime Minister of India. If he makes a fervent appeal from the floor of the House, it will have a huge salutary effect. The Prime Minister should not wait for the opposition or somebody to demand. He should voluntarily, he should on his own make a suo motu statement. That will have a calming down effect. It will have a salutary effect.
Mr. Ansari, I also want to understand, since you mentioned Rule 276, why is it so important to actually go ahead and have that debate under 276 as far as the Rajya Sabha is concerned? If we actually go by what the government's logic is, let's at least begin with talking about it rather than wasting these 3 days of the parliament over nothing. Don't you think there needs to be that middle step, there needs to be that common ground, or that entire aspect where both the opposition and the BJP at least come and meet each other midway? Why do you think that is missing?
That's missing because usually the chair plays the role of a facilitator. The chair must be a neutral umpire. He's not the headmaster. He takes all sides wrong. You know, the thumb rule of parliamentary functioning is that the opposition must have its say, the government must have its way. And this usually happens in the speaker or the chairman's chamber, where he brings all sides together. The government concedes a bit, the opposition concedes a bit, ends meet, and ultimately you have a solution. It cannot be entirely opposition's way. It cannot be entirely the government's way. And the presiding officers have always so far been very neutral, have not only done the right thing, but have been seen to be doing the right thing.
Okay.
You know, you cannot sledgehammer approach once in a while you can rap somebody on the knuckles. It cannot become the stock delivery. It should be a shock delivery rather than the stock delivery, where the answer to everything is you name somebody and throw him out. That's not going to work.
Okay. Tushar Gupta, where do you see the solution in all this, in this conundrum?
Look, Neha, the solution lies in having a discussion right away. We cannot look away from Manipur. I mean, we can raise Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Bengal as much as we want. But the magnitude of problem we have in Manipur is huge, and the government has also been addressing it for the last 3-4 months. The army units have been sent in. There's a blockade going on. A lot of middle ground is being approached between the Kukis and the Meiteis. However, a discussion in the parliament is of utmost importance. Now, the opposition wanted a discussion. The Home Minister conceded to it. Now, the opposition wants to shift the goalposts, and they are demanding that the Prime Minister first makes a statement in both the houses of the parliament.
No, but Tushar, I don't think there is a shifting of goalposts. They have been steadfast in their demand that the Prime Minister needs to address the House. That has not changed when it is about the demand that the opposition is making from the very first day. And I would actually put it on record, even after that 30-second statement that the Prime Minister had given to the media, the opposition continued with that demand. They never wanted the Home Minister or anybody else from the ministry to go ahead and speak on behalf of the Prime Minister. And only that is missing. And that's why the stalling exercise is going on.
No, but what do they want? Do they want to put questions to the Home Minister under whose jurisdiction actually falls? Or they just want a statement from the Prime Minister, which will be, again, the same thing about the solutions and what approach the government is taking. My take, Neha, is that given the magnitude of the problem in Manipur, the opposition should push for a discussion right away, ask the tough questions to the centre as to what has been done, how this problem evolved into such a big Frankenstein monster, and then demand a statement from the Prime Minister. My worry here is that the opposition is not willing to ask centre some tough questions. They're asking for a statement. That's fine. That can come later. But to begin with, for the people of India, for their voters, and for the voters of this entire country who are looking at Manipur, they should first approach a discussion. They should ask the centre the tough questions, let them answer, and then see where the solution goes. This deadlock is not helping anyone. It may look politically theatric, but it's not helping anyone. And certainly not the opposition, and certainly not the people of Manipur. So my simple take is, let's start with the discussion. Ask centre all the tough questions you want to. Put them forward in public. Put them forward in the media. And then, whatever conclusion comes, whatever the futuristic approach has to be, let that come from the Prime Minister. But Home Minister has to be answerable first.
Okay. Dolly Sharma, that's a fair point that Tushar is making. Why not begin with asking the tough questions? Why go ahead only with this demand that Prime Minister should speak? At least start somewhere. Why is the opposition not willing?
Reha, unfortunately, we have a Prime Minister who can go and campaign for a Nigam poll, right? Who can fly and address the public outside India, but he cannot visit Manipur. He cannot come to the parliament, Indian parliament, right? He does not need to go abroad to address the parliament, right? He has to address the parliament in Delhi itself. When he can go and campaign in the municipal polls, he cannot come and discuss in parliament such critical situation of Manipur? Why he's shying away? डबल इंजन की सरकार, सच बिग कितने बड़े ढपोल संख वादे।
नहीं, मैंने आपसे एक सीधा सा सवाल पूछा डॉली, मुझे इसका जवाब दीजिए। ये बात तो मैं समझ रही हूँ और ये एक फेयर पॉइंट है, लेकिन ऑपोजिशन की तरफ से नो डॉली हेल्प मी अंडरस्टैंड दिस वन थिंग। ऑब्वियसली यू विल आस्क ऑफ द बीजेपी, द गवर्नमेंट एट द सेंटर, अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. It totally is up to them on what they choose to agree to and what they choose not to, and that's why the stalling is happening. That's why this deadlock continues in the parliament. But when it is about offering, let's say, a solution, and I am saying, one of the panelists mentions that why not the opposition begin with asking some tough and important questions vis-a-vis Manipur, at least start there, and then if the Prime Minister doesn't come up with a response, then you can go about protesting like you're doing right now. Why is that missing?
From day one, we are asking to discuss in Parliament as per rule number 267.
Yeah.
They are not ready. They are not taking Manipur as a serious situation in the country.
Okay.
If we are asking them about Manipur, they're diverting the topic. They're asking us questions on Rajasthan. A woman, 80-year-old woman is burnt alive. Yesterday, we've seen that news also coming up on most of the channels. So is it not serious?
Neha, that's an important and a fair point.
While Manipur continues to burn,
yes, I got your point, Dolly. Neha, while Manipur continues to burn, the Prime Minister is refraining from going ahead and giving into the opposition's demand. Is this the ego tussle that is at play, even if in the wake of this huge crisis that one of the states, important states of the country is witnessing, in this case Manipur, can that not be put away just to address the important issue at hand? And why talk about Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh in the same light when you're talking about Manipur?
Griha, to answer your last question first, while Dolly Sharma's heart weeps as it rightfully should for the women in Manipur, as does mine, I would encourage her to also think about the 6-month-old baby who was charred to death in Jodhpur, which is a Congress-ruled state. Now, coming back to your original question.
You know, Neha, who they were.
Let her respond first. Dolly, let her respond.
Unfortunately,
they were ABP guys, 3 ABP guys.
One second, Dolly, one second. Let her respond.
You can't
let her respond.
Manipur
that's
with
not how you
Rajasthan.
debate.
Yeah.
Dolly, that's not how you debate. Allow me to
one
debate.
second. Neha, please go ahead.
So, Griha, unfortunately, the opposition's job in this country is reduced to theatrics, while the government's job is to find solutions. They wanted all business be suspended and there be a debate. And I would like to educate Ms. Dolly Sharma that the opposition MPs have also filed notices under Rule 176. So it's not that the government hasn't received notices under that rule. And I'll be happy to share copies of that with Dolly Sharma. Now, if the government is saying it suspends all business and let's have a discussion, why is it that the opposition is shying away from a discussion? Griha, tell me something. What is of importance right now that the Home Minister, who is well apprised with the situation, with the minutest of details of what's happening in Manipur, he comes and answers to the Parliament and the rest of the nation, or they want a statement from the Prime Minister. We are looking for solutions here. We are not looking for theatrics that the opposition wants to indulge in. This is not a banana republic that the opposition sits on dharna outside the Gandhi statue and the government concedes to everything and anything. There is a rule of law, there is devolution of powers, and there is accountability and responsibility accorded to specific people. In this case,
no, but I'd still like to understand from you, Neha, that instead of just sparring over under which rule can the discussion begin, whether it is 176 or 267, why not begin it in the first place? Why should people of Manipur wait for any sort of important statement or any movement to come in from the seat of democracy in the country, that is the Parliament?
Griha, did you watch the Home Minister's
I would like to intervene just 10 seconds.
Let her make a point. Let her make a point.
The Home Minister on the floor of the House, Griha, said, let's debate the issue right now. Did you see the behavior of the opposition MPs? Did it seem like a group that wanted solutions? Sloganeering inside the Parliament where they could have actually had a reasonable, meaningful debate.
Okay.
They reduced the Parliament.
Okay, Dolly, make your point. I'll go to Tushar. Yeah.
I think, Griha, the lady sitting from the BJP should go through the news channels and see Pauline Lal Howkeep. He's an MLA of BJP from Manipur. His statement was that the state government is involved for what is happening in Manipur.
Okay. Neha, quick response, because obviously that is one interview that is doing the rounds. It is dominating the internet right now.
And there is a BJP MLA that the state government is involved.
Sensitive issue.
One second, Dolly. Don't misquote him. Don't misquote him.
Sharma, I'm sorry.
No, I am not misquoting that. I can give you a...
She's responding.
I can show you.
Dolly, she's responding.
No, I can show you. I am not misquoting.
One second. Dolly,
I can show
Dolly,
you.
she has asked you. just wait for her to respond to the question that you've raised, and that's an important question. Let's not dilute the question that you've raised. Neha, quick response from you. There is a MP from your own political party that is disappointed in the handling of the Manipur situation by not just the Chief Minister, Mr. Biren Singh, but also the government at the centre. He, in fact, is feeling sorry for the double-engine Sarkar that has failed to work in Manipur, and he's gone on record. Everybody is talking about it. How does BJP respond to that?
Again, Griha, let the Home Minister respond to that. Do you think when the Home Minister is going to speak on the floor of the House, he will not address that?
No, but this is not the Parliament. Here we are talking about the Manipur situation. Neha, this is not the Parliament. We will not wait for the Home Minister response while we are on this debate. I'd like to understand what has been the BJP's response over that crucial statement that has come in from one of the MPs from Manipur who's talking about the situation which has gone out of hand and how the state government and the government of the centre is allowed to do that because of this stalling exercise. Why can't the BJP address those questions?
Griha, first of all, we all need to understand, and I'm sure most of the viewers who are watching us today on TV understand that what's happening in Manipur for the last 80 days, this is not a standalone issue. This hasn't appeared in 2023. There are legacy issues in Manipur that need to be addressed. The situation right now is very, very sensitive, and I would not want to, make loose statements here as to who said what.
Okay, Mr. Ansari, let me bring you in here. Mr. Ansari, do you think we are going about in circles? Now that the opposition parties have decided to actually hold or override dharna, how instrumental is that going to be in pushing the government any further to going about speaking on the Manipur issue as they desire for it to go about? And do you think all of this is leading nowhere while there are varying statements and also different ones that are coming in from within the BJP faction when it is about the state of Manipur?
You are spot on. This matters very little. There will be poor consolation to the people of Manipur. Whether you stage a dharna inside Parliament, outside Parliament. The fact is, and there is a very easy solution. We can have a debate, the Home Minister can reply, and the Prime Minister can intervene. It has happened in the past. Because the Home Ministry is in charge of this situation, the Home Minister can reply. The Prime Minister, in the course of the debate, can show more to intervene and make a statement. That will, like I said, it will. There's no point in standing on ego. As we speak, people are dying, people are being raped, houses are being burned, children are being maimed. They are one of us. It's a part of India. It's going up in flames. So it matters very little for them whether we sit on a dharna and who speaks first. Let's have a debate. Let's address this. And the chief executive of the country, if there is a cloudburst in a foreign country, the Prime Minister speaks up. Why can he not speak up about Manipur? And what better place than Parliament? When he first entered Parliament, he bowed down and kissed the ground.
Yes.
He kissed the Constitution. If that was not, if that was only optics, then it's one thing. But if he really meant it far beyond that, then let's give Parliament its importance. Let the Prime Minister make a statement. Let there be a debate. Let the Prime Minister make a statement, and let Mr. Amit Shah, by virtue of being Home Minister of India, give a reply.
Okay, Tushar, you wanted to come in here while you want to make that point against what Mr. Ansari is saying. But I'd like to also understand, since we were also on the Kuki MLA, the BJP Kuki MLA, Mr. Haukip's response and the interview that is now going viral on social media, you will at least listen to the people from within the parties. And do you think there has been a stark divide, whether it is BJP or whether it is any other political party, at least on the basis of the communities that they come from, whether it is a Kuki MLA or a Meitei MLA, the divide is very, very strong in Manipur vis-a-vis that, and that has not been addressed as far as the government of the centre is concerned. Tushar.
No, the divide is indeed very stark, Griha. You're spot on there. The divide cannot be missed by anyone who's been observing Manipur for the last 3 months. And that is the divide that needs to be bridged. And that is why the armed units are also there trying to maintain peace. But what I have a problem with what the Congress spokesperson said, that the Prime Minister is not concerned, that the Home Minister is not concerned. Exactly a month ago, on June 25, Amit Shah chaired an all-party meeting, and a lot of Congress MPs and MLAs and other party MPs and MLAs raised their concerns about what was going on. The Home Minister discussed the issue with them. At that point, there was no demand that, we'll only discuss this in the parliament or we'll only discuss it with the Prime Minister. The Congress CM, the former Congress CM from Manipur also raised his issues as to what was the concern, that how the divide, as you rightly pointed out, between the communities needs to be, fixed and they need to be disarmed. So the parties in the shadows are willing to talk to the government. But when it comes to the parliament, suddenly the theatrics kick in. And I also respectfully disagree with Mr. Ansari when he says that the Prime Minister can go out and speak in several parliaments. Sir, he is representing the country there as a leader of the state, from one leader of the state to another. Debating on an internal issue and speaking as a head of the state are two very different things. But nevertheless, I still insist that the discussion must start somewhere. The parties have been talking in all party meetings, where the theatrics are not visible. So they should start a discussion in the parliament. And then probably the Prime Minister needs to step in and make a statement. But they need to start somewhere for the sake of the people in Manipur.
All right. I think we would leave it at that, considering...
Tushar,
yes, Mr. Ansari.
I didn't say that the Prime Minister went and addressed other parliaments. I said he finds time to comment about issues in other countries, but he should come to the Parliament.
Right,
of India
absolutely. And that remains the principal argument of the opposition as well. I'd like to thank my guests on that note, because unfortunately we are not being able to actually reach a consensus when it is about this major issue. Let's see if that opposition dharna, the overnight dharna that's been planned by India or the opposition alliance tonight, whether that really solves any purpose, whether this conversation, this more important conversation around Manipur really heads anywhere, and if there is a debate and discussion around it in the parliament tomorrow. We'll leave it at that. We're right now slipping into a very, very short break. But up next, Oppenheimer makes waves at the box office, although it also stokes up a controversy as the intimate scene that features verses of the Bhagavad Gita has gone into a major issue when it is about the Indian audience in the country. We'll debate that, whether it is an artwork or whether it is a brazen insult to the Gita, after this very, very short break.